magic.
As far as, what do you mean? When I'll be honest, when you're saying archons, give me names. Maybe I know it as something else.
Wow.
Well, like, what are you referring to? Because I want to make sure we're not confused.
But from what I've heard about the archons is that they're, I guess, invisible entities.
Okay, I got you.
That
okay.
I guess you could say control the minds of the people who are higher.
Okay, we would call that specters or ghouls. Well, go ahead.
Yeah. Do they? Are they play a critical part of black magic, or are they the foreign entities that use black magic?
No, they play a critical part on both ends. Now remember, those type, what you're calling archons, you have some that are specters that can read the subconscious mind, which is a good and a bad thing, because they can make things appear to you how you want to see them. Let me give you an example. When you look at Catholics, right? I'll show you how this works. Catholics, for their whole life, it's stamped in their subconscious mind. They see this image of the Blessed Virgin Mary, right? Now, you see a lot of people in the Catholic faith that said they've seen apparitions of the Blessed Virgin Mary. They all describe it similar. They always show this woman, she's wearing this thing on her head and she's in a long white robe. You have to be careful, because those type of beings, they can get in the subconscious mind and create holographic images and make you see them the way you want to see them. They could also appear as your mother or as your father and not really be your mother or deceased mother, father, or grandmother. So sometimes that can be used to project a certain level of consciousness to you, which is not a good or a bad thing. But I always tell people, when you're working with the spirits, and if you have an image like that appears to you, ask that spirit to show their true self. And you'll find out if that is masking as something other than what it's appearing, it will change form right in front of you. Trust me when I tell you.
Is it mandatory that they speak the truth?
To you it is. To you it is. It's not mandatory to them. They can do whatever they want. It's mandatory that they speak your personal truth, because they can come to you and tell you anything. Because you have specters that work on, you call them archons, that's pretty much the same thing. They work on two levels. Then you'll see sometimes out of the corner of your eye flashes a light. You'll see these little balls. That's them. Now we've had a thing, and Norm was there a couple years back in 2009. I'll bring the pictures and I'll show you. I still have those pictures, believe it or not. In the temple. We did was it a drum ritual we did?
I think we did the dance.
We did the dance, or we did a ritual, and then we decided to take some group shots afterwards. We took the pictures, and in all the pictures, first we thought it was something wrong with the pictures, but it turned out it was in every single picture. We saw these, what you're calling archons or specters, we saw all these balls of light in every picture. And we saw around certain individuals, and here's the crazy shit. We saw around certain individuals images and shadows, which that's the shadow self. And then here's the fucked up part. Well, it's not fucked up, but we took the picture and we counted, and there was one person in the right of the picture, and all you could see from was his nose on up, right? We couldn't see anything else but his nose to the top of his head. And we went back to the list. We took a count. We knew who was there. We had about maybe 15 people there.
There was an extra
Maybe,
person
yeah,
there.
there was an extra person in the picture that we couldn't account for. I'm telling you, the spirits will manifest. Nobody, we were digging hard, trying to find out. Anybody know who that is? Look at this picture. Who is that? We were, man, that's that brother from Tampa. No, that's not that brother from Tampa. Blah, blah. That's the brother from New York. No, that's not that. There was another individual in that picture that we could not identify. Go ahead.
Could you have any clarity on lights, beams, or anything that's high visit you?
All right, you're talking about like extraterrestrials, UFOs, sightings in the skies?
Well, I wouldn't know exactly what it is. Like
you're seeing flashing
light in the sky that just comes over. Observe like 3 of them in the sky around probably March or something. Right.
That happened in March?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's many things that actually took place, planetary alignments that have been. I don't know if you'll get ready to know. It's getting ready to happen starting tomorrow. Mars is reversing its course, and you're going to start seeing it shining bright in the sky. Now that happened. The beginning of that did also happen in March. You could also be seeing shooting stars. You could be seeing comets, other planets passing through our orbit.
No, like light beams that's solid, don't move, stay still.
Just solid.
I don't know what it is.
I mean, I can't tell you exactly what you saw, because I'd be a hypocrite if I did.
Okay.
It could be some type of craft. It could be an anomaly of the positioning of the planet. Because remember, when a planet's in orbit, and for an example like Mars, it'll appear as standing still.
Like within 200 feet in the sky or something.
Oh, well, that's close.
Like following it.
That's close. I mean, so you're seeing, again, yeah, that's another thing. Could be also a high-tech military craft. Because a lot of people mistake crafts or something outside of this realm, and it's actually some high-tech craft, government craft that people are working on. I'm not saying that's what it is.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you, and now if I was there with you and saw it, I mean, I'm hearing what you're saying, but if I sit there and go to, I'm not saying that you are, but if I go to Spookville, USA with you, then I'm creating a religion, right? If I go, brother, you saw a shit, and then everybody goes, yeah, it was a shit. Now we're back to a religion. What I can tell you is it was definitely something personal that you had to see. What I would suggest you do is meditate on that. Now, one thing you can do is, I don't know if you have a personal sacred space set up in your house, a place where you meditate, a place where you worship, or, which is why I'm going to tell you something that's very effective. Before you go to sleep, just talk to your spirits and say, talk to them like we're having a conversation right now. That light that I saw in the sky, I asked my ancestral spirits, my spirit guides, and those connected to me by blood and that are not connected to me by blood, to open my visual tonight in my dream state so I can get clarity on that vision that I saw in the sky. When you propagate it like that, I guarantee you when you go to sleep, your dreams will be enhanced. Another good thing to keep by your bed, and I always tell people this, if you want your dreams to be enhanced and open the realm to the dream world, keep an image or a small statue of Anubu right by your bed. You'll find out your dreams will be enhanced 50 times more. Anubu or Anubis, what people know as the deity Anubis.
Right in the corner,
Right there. That's Anubis right there. That would be that statue right there in the corner. That's the Egyptian jackal dog of the dead, symbolic. He connects the physical realm to the spiritual realm. So you can even, in that closing statement, propagate Anubis and say, Anubis, give me clarity.
Is Anu related to Anubis?
No, Anu, now you're getting into the Anunnaki pantheon. Anu would be dealing with the Sumerians and the ancient Babylonians. Now you're dealing with Anu, Enki, and Leo, and you're dealing with that whole pantheon. Hold on, I'm gonna get harder than you. Go ahead.
I have another question.
And then you, Nadine, then you. Yeah.
How do you manipulate the electromagnetic field to slow it down to actually pick up on the spirits around you? Because I know everything pretty much works on the spectrum of light.
Correct.
So to be able to break it down to actually see what's going on around you, like for me, like I can be looking like out of my peripheral, and then
Right.
I'll see something. I'll see a spirit or something, and then I'll look and it's gone.
Right.
I just want to be able to actually see it.
Right. Well, the fastest, first when you talk about the spectrum, the fastest moving color on the spectrum is blue. That's important to understand. So blue is a good color to work with in your meditations. Blue is because it moves through the spectrum so fast, and as we talked about in a lot of older classes, that's what creates the illusion that the sky is blue and the water is blue. How you know that's an illusion? Because if you're in an airplane, and I've said this a million times, if you're flying in a plane, we've all, I'm sure most of us have been at one time or another been on an airplane flight. And if you ever noticed, if it's a sunny day, or if it's sunny and there's a little overcast of clouds, you'll notice as you're flying, depending on the reflection of the sun and the angle you're flying, at some points the water looks blue, sometimes it looks green, sometimes it looks grayish, murky. That's because when the sun is shining and the light is moving through the spectrum, it's always going to appear blue. That's why the sky appears blue, but it's really not blue. It's the same thing with somebody that has less pigmentation, especially in their eyes. Nobody really has blue eyes. It's just a lack of pigment in the eyes that creates the illusion that the eyes are blue, because you're seeing the color move through the spectrum quicker in somebody that has less pigmented eyes than somebody that doesn't. So that's why people who have blue eyes have blue eyes. That's the other thing. Activating that, working with slowing down that energy would be dealing again with greater black magic and tapping into the subjective universe. The best way I can tell you to do that, to slow that down, again, one great way that we talked about earlier is astral travel. That's one of the best ways you can do that. Now again, sometimes this happens naturally in a dream state, but you can actually raise yourself up through a meditation ritual. If you want to leave here and astrally travel somewhere, you can definitely do that and slow that process down. You have to, long story short, in order to slow that down, you have to vibrate outside of three-dimensional, person, place, and thing. You can't slow it down. Because when you're subjected to the physical realm, you're governed by the laws that govern this realm. So you have to raise your vibration outside of this realm to even begin to do that. Now we're dealing with what we're talking about tonight, greater black magic.
Well, isn't that stepping outside of the all, or the concept of...
You can't step outside. That's literally impossible, because the all is just a concept. It deals with quantum. Quantum is for quantum physics. When you hear Masons say you need to be on your square, they're talking about quantum, the all. The all just means the same thing as the first Hermetic principle of Tahuti. All is mental, mental is all. It's still within the subconscious mind. Nothing exists outside the subconscious mind. That would be the same thing as saying nothing exists outside of all. You can't, see, if you're looking at it from the perspective that you're physically, because physically you're stepping outside of this shell, and now you're traveling astrally, energy-wise, you're still inside what we would call all. You never can go outside of it, because where would you go? How would you get it? How would you get there, and how would you get back in?
Or nothingness. I mean, outside of all of
Right, but that's still, that is all. Right, because when you say nothingness, that's good. No, that's an excellent point. Because when you say nothingness, in order to have something, you have to have nothing first. This is what people keep forgetting. That's the first law of metaphysics. What that basically means is the phonetics of the word. Okay? When you say, when we use the mathematical term sum, S-U-M, listen to the word something. The sum of a thing. So they're telling you in that equation, in order to have the sum of a thing, you have to have, break the word nothing down, no thing. You have to have nothing first. That goes back to the deity Set. When I was talking about earlier, chaos. In order to have order first, you got to have chaos. Can't avoid it. Out of chaos comes order. Never forget that. That's why Set is one of the most powerful deities and misunderstood in the archetypes and pantheons of ancient Egypt. Because chaos represents that state of nothingness. Undefined, no boundaries, no beginning, no end. Everything is confined in that state of nothingness or darkness. Their very Bible tells them that. In the beginning, God created the heaven and earth, and God said what? Let there be. It's confession that he was what?
In the dark.
He was in the dark. So why are people scared of fucking darkness? Why do they act like darkness is a bad thing? Because they were told that. That's my whole point. They were told that. Because darkness. Do you realize that your Jesus in the Bible, the devil and Jesus have the same name? Anybody ever researched that? All right, go look it up for yourself. Revelations chapter 22, verse 16. Isaiah 14, verse 12. They refer to Lucifer as the son of the morning, the bright son of the morning star, and they refer to Jesus as the bright son of the morning star of Revelations 22. So what God are they really worshiping in the Bible? Is there a difference between God or Jesus and the devil? You're going to find out there is no difference. They just vary in degrees of vibrational energy. There's no difference.
What's the other verse?
Revelations 22, verse 16. The devil and 14:12 in Isaiah. They both are given the same title. So now ask a Christian is which one is evil? Because if you're saying that that title is evil and is given to Lucifer, which just means light bearer, that's all it means. That's all Lucifer means. If it's given to Lucifer and it's given to Jesus, I'm confused. Which one? Somebody break that down to me. They won't even. They'll look at you. No, brother. You see, they'll give you their own personal. No. Let's stick to scripture, because you know them cats. They like to stick to scripture and take everything literal, and they can't explain it. I mean, we can go
Zeus
worse.
the light bearer was on?
Say it again.
Zeus was
The Greek god is Zeus. Yes. Shango too dealt with the lightning bolt, lightning and thunder. All elements. See, we're back to nature and creation. You can't avoid it. Yeah, brother.
Yeah, I experienced something.
Nadine, I got you next. I forgot. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
Go ahead.
I experienced something I want to know is like goods. Like sometimes I can't find my keys.
Uh-huh.
My car keys.
That's because you're getting old. No.
You know, if I go and meditate, I find the key.
Say that again.
If I go and meditate, I find the key.
What now?
It's
You know.
right in front of me.
You know
And
why
I'm
that is?
searching like an hour, can't find it.
Because you're again. You're dealing with the subjective universe, so you're tapping into higher frequencies.
Yeah.
Instead of you going to physically destroy yourself and go look all over for it, you're tapping into a higher frequency. You're gonna find out that as you study and discipline yourself, that happens. I'm gonna get you 1 second, Nadine, before I forget. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it's like twice that experience, right? So I panicked.